Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So I have been chatting away to you guys for probably 20 minutes and realised I haven't even been filming. So let's rewind, start back at the beginning. Let me grab this journal. So what have I done? Oh my goodness, I don't often do that because I've got such a routine when I start a video. Let's start again. So I finished stitching down all of the leaves. I'm still waiting for it to dry. It was quite thick, the glue in there, so that might take a day or so, but everything's pretty much done. Invisible stitched all of the leaves into position. I stitched the little piece of crocheted trim on the edge here, and I've also just glued it onto the cover, so it will now dry and be in position. I'm pretty sure I showed you yesterday that I'd created another one of those little leaves from a squirrel image that I hadn't used. I divided it up, popped one leaf there and one leaf there, and I just felt like that finished it nicely. So I'm going to call that completed. As I was editing the video and uploading it, I went back to find out what number video we were up to, and I thought, gee, that's a bit of a gap. There must be another prompt. And then I realised I've missed 3 prompts. And it is the summer days. So I was thinking about it, and I'm going to put that prompt on hold for this journal anyway. I haven't thought too much about the second journal because I feel like I've transitioned nicely from this prompt into those colour tones, and I feel like this will be the mushrooms or the grassy, the forest floor. So the prompt that the girls had, Rachel did the hat, just representing what summer days mean to you. I sort of feel like I've left the summer days by doing this. So I might just sit on that prompt, and maybe it'll be here and can merge into then the bright colours that start the whole process. Good morning, Fudge. Fudgy, Fudgy. While I was chatting away to you guys, Fudge was here about 10 minutes ago and was having a big scratch under the table with my foot, and then he chomped me and there was an altercation between me and him. You missed all that, Fudgy bee, but he's back, so I'm sure something will happen. Now, what I was also showing you is the background for the next piece. Goodness me, I can't believe I didn't film. I was looking at those. Showed you those yesterday. Very orange, very mushroom toppy, but at the moment not needed. So I went looking for a background type scenario. I found this linen. I used this pack of fabric, had a couple colour waves in it in Honey Bear's dress. And I did the blues and the wheat tones, and I thought this is perfect for my background. The fabric was only a certain size, so as I chatted away to you guys, I worked out that I couldn't get it to fit. If I did, it had to be sideways and the plants would be wrong. So hence, Fudgy bee, hence it became that. So I was short. So that's where I got to with that. Then what else did we talk about? So I pulled out then this fabric, and I thought, well, if I put a band of that through, it would get me the width I needed for a double page spread. I have gone a little bit bigger than I need. I felt like there might be a heap of stitching on this particular piece. So to have my fabric past my calico and wadding, which fits the journal, is not a bad thing. What else did then we go through? Then I pulled out these two before I started the video because I felt like that was not going to be a background for me. So I went looking and I found these more plant orientated images. They've got little leaves on them, all right? And then while we were chatting, gosh, I can't believe I missed so much on that video, for goodness sake. This was sitting there and I'm thinking, when am I ever going to use it? See how it's got little pot plants on it? But the colour's great. So in my wisdom, I thought a band of that here because, oh my goodness, now I have to deconstruct. They'll explain that in a minute. Look. This was genius, brilliance, and you've missed it. See that there? this piece was a bit short and I moved it up. Fudgy, please. I moved it up and I thought, well, we can disguise that. That's where I must have nibbled something out for Honey Bear's dress. So I thought, well, if I'm never going to make a quilt using the pack of fabric that this all comes with, it was part of a series, at least I could use a piece of that to drop in a bit of a dark green background. So that's why I was stuck with the one with pots over it. And I'm hoping by the time I'm finished, you won't notice the pots. They'll just disappear because I can then bring in plant-like printed fabrics. Does that make sense? This is a background. Let's use something that's a bit random and then build up from there. So then I tore a piece off that covered this base, and I thought, well, to make it feel already like lumpy bumpy forest floor, I started squishing it all up. So I've been sitting here telling you all about why I've got a Band-Aid on there. And you just weren't even here listening. Oh my goodness. So the plan is to get this all pinned down. I'm going to dodge off and do a bit of stitching on this background in preparation, pausing the video, and come back with a background ready to do mushrooms. That's the plan. And as I was doing this, I looked up and realised I wasn't even filming. Now, let me just get this repinned. This is all part of getting a bit of a lumpy background, bit of a hump there that a mushroom might come out of. I started chatting away about this page is a double spread, and I tend to get carried away with placing pieces, and I do not want a mushroom in the middle here because it will interfere with the folding of that page. So I had a bright idea that I would quickly, before I went, quickly stitch a bit of a dotted line, so to speak, down the centre. So when I start placing mushrooms and all the rest of it, I know where my fold is. So then I looked up at the camera, saw I wasn't filming, and that's where we're at. So that should be the fold. Yeah, good. So I'll remove that, but it's a good reminder that I do not need to proceed into the centre too much. Now, the hand. You're probably wondering, what's she done? She's got a big Band-Aid on. Oh my goodness. So while I was away for those 3 weeks with the retreats and toing and froing from Brisbane with Dad, my garden got a little bit out of control with weeds. So not only is the turf now sneaking into the garden, nutgrass has popped up everywhere. So it was either in the soil or it was in the mulch. And while I tell you this story, I'll find some threads, which I don't have. But anyway, yeah, so yesterday I went out to start sort of tidying up the garden beds, and I only did the one, and I had gloves on to protect my hands from getting, you know, dirty, fudgy. And the handle of the little trowel just started hitting me in here. There was no reason why it should have given me a blister, but the soil was pretty dense. So I was really putting a bit of muscle into it. And in the process, I've given myself a huge blister. Oh my gosh. It only took like 20 minutes. That's how lily soft I've got in the last month. So now I've got a sore hand and it's really tender, and I've had to put a Band-Aid on it because it was just getting sore and sorer. So that's what I've been up to. Let me just grab some threads. I'm just going to go through Grandma's sewing threads. Whether there is a bridesmaid that had those colours, who knows? And I will then pause the video. I'm going to dodge off. That'd be good for... Well, we don't have pinks. Don't think I need anything out of there. This encapsulates the 70s and the 80s of wedding dressmaking for all the bridesmaids. That's a good one for that one. Was there a bridesmaid that had a mushroomy, greeny, dark tone? No, but I bet Grandma wore that, or Granddad had something of that nature. So this colour, it's nearly like a wheat. Oh. Let's have a look through these. Maybe I've just got to do a cream. Up here. How about that one? These threads are funny to use. You'll pull some off and then suddenly it just ends. So my guess is Grandma has wound back onto the reel the leftover cotton from something. Makes me giggle every time. Oh, gee, that's pretty good. Yep, there we go. I did try and do some sewing on the sewing machine with them too, and they just immediately split. So my guess is they'll only ever be good for hand sewing because of the age, because some of these might be, you know, to the 50s even. So they've just lost their integrity. That feels really thick. What is that? Bold stitch. Coats, polyester. It's good to be able to use them. Otherwise they would have just gone into landfill. So I'll thread up my needle. Oh goodness, this is a thick thread. I wonder what she would have used this for. It's quite thick compared to... I'm going to put my sneaky knot on because... Just because. It saves me threading a needle every 5 stitches. So I just do a half knot. It just holds it. So yeah, I'm in the wars. I've got a sore paw. Can't go out and garden until my paw heals. But it's okay. I will survive. Need a little bowl to put my threads in. Tidy up my desk a little. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I can't believe I didn't hit the video. Being that I've run that through there already, I'm going to start stitching from there. And this is just all about... Maybe I'll do a proper big stitch. That is a beautiful thread. So instead of using it as an invisible stitch, maybe I'll make it a bigger stitch just to have a little extra something in the background. Why not? So we're seed stitching the background now, but we'll keep it a generous stitch. We won't make it small. So it's already come unthreaded. Why do I get the feeling this thread's going to be troublesome? It's beautiful. So this will be lots of big seed stitches to do 2 things. This camel section, in the video I didn't record, my theory was, A, it looks like a tree shooting up the side there. Don't know if I want to make a feature of it. We'll see. B, it's a spot where the field note journal concept could be explored, like sketching, colour palettes, swatches, things like that, which is what I'm tending towards now that 20 minutes has gone by of thinking in addition to those comments made when I didn't film it. So I'm thinking this might be good for maybe a line drawing of a mushroom, or I don't know. I think because that's my middle, I've got room to bring a mushroom up here and then something over there, like a cluster or toadstools or I don't know. But for now, I've just got to get all of these backgrounds secure using these threads I've just chosen. my guess is a day will go by and we may even have the next prompt. I'm just not sure. For me, it's Monday. Not sure when you'll be watching this, but that's all good. That's a nice thread. Wonder why she would have had something so thick. It's nearly like something, you know, we'd all use for embroidery. Like these are so fine compared to that one. Interesting. Wonder what Grandma was up to with that thread. Great colour for my background. All right. This I think I'll just invisible stitch, and then I might do some feature stitching or some big stitches there. I don't know. It'll just be invisible stitch. Let's do a little bit of that. How are we going for time? 16 minutes. I probably shouldn't waste too much more time on this. I think I've caught you back up. What else did I go through with the background? I think that was about it. That's just overlapping there, so I might make sure I've got a few little stitches down that side. So these will just be little hidden ones. They'll just look like little dimples. I'll whip down this edge and then I'll leave you all alone. Oh, did I show you this? Gosh, I'm thinking I've done things and I may not have done things. This I considered as a background. This is some upholstery fabric that I picked up that's sewing layer. Bit of a linen feel to it. Probably isn't linen. It sort of feels like it's got a synthetic mix with it, but has the linen look. But when I pulled that piece out, it was too bold for this, and yeah, I was like, no, we'll leave that. So that was a consideration. I think that's about it. And just do this little line. I use the edge of the camel fabric that was there. I didn't cut that. That was as it was. There must have been a dart here or something. You can see a transition in colour there where it's faded, because these were a pair of shorts that I picked up at an op store. And it's just a great colour. Yeah, I was quite surprised how few fabrics I had that had just a foresty look. I've got heaps of florals, like the girl seems to like florals that could be stitched and, you know, but just a general background that was a forest without stitching a forest. So it's all about the mossy floor. So I really want to work the bottom edge here with knots and rocks and bits of goodness knows what, and then popping out of it will be these mushrooms or toadstools, depending on what happens. I've got my woolen fabric sitting here still, and I've also got my Sue Spargo Truffle Duffle book. So I will have a little look through that as well. See if there's a mushroom there that inspires me. But mushrooms are pretty forgiving, like you can do all sorts of things with mushrooms. Actually, I grabbed that. This is new news. This I hadn't shown you in the unrecorded version of this video. That was gifted to me by the neighbour who was cleaning out her mum's, I think. Yeah, I think. I'm losing track of who gives me what. So I hope if that's someone from the retreat, I do apologise if that's a treasure that you passed on to me. Yeah, I thought maybe I could do even something with those. Make a mushroom crown with something like that. That'd be a challenge. We'll see. It'll all come down to the tone of the piece and Do I do needle turn applique mushrooms? Do I just do free form rough edge mushrooms? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Don't need to know at this stage. It is just background. Get it stitched. Get any decorative stitching in place that I like the idea of, like this seed stitch. And then we're ready. Oh, see, without a little sneaky knot, my needle, because it's got a big eye, just keeps sliding out. There we go. Now I have gone past the base fabric somewhat because I can trim it back if I need to. So I'm just going to shoot up that edge a little bit. Well, I might toddle off. Got a lot of paperwork to do today. Like I said, it's Monday for me. Oh, I don't know if I said that or not. Was that the first version or this video? Oh, goodness me. At least when I hit pause, I know where I'm at. Couldn't believe it when I looked up to the TV and the little red time counter wasn't going. Oh my goodness. Even the sneaky knot keeps falling out. There we go. Alrighty, running out of thread fast. Let's end that off. Don't need you. Just did a zip down there, across, did a bit of a loop. All right, guys, I will leave you alone. I'll be back in a few seconds, but who knows how much time will pass. And I will have my background. You can see how much further I went past my base piece, just in case it squinches in a little. We're right to go. All right, look how well that sits in there. Seriously, Marianne, that is just the best gift from Scotland. Look at that. Too easy. Need smaller scissors. Look at that. Anyway, small things attract small minds. All right, I'm going to say goodbye and I will toddle off and get myself stitched. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, I'm back. So a day and a half has actually gone by. Took me a little bit to find a moment to do the stitching of the background. I've large seed stitched right through the back as I had planned. I've run a line of stitching down that edge only until I trim the page back to suit the journal. I thought I won't highlight that page with any more, that section with any more stitching. And I've just popped some little stitches through this green to start building up a little bit of texture for our mossy garden, mossy forest floor. So I thought I would have a thumb through my Sue Spargo truffle book, and these little mushrooms caught my eye. Didn't get very far into the book. Those little guys. I love her stitching, the way she's overstitched it all, so I'm definitely going to have a play with those two. So I've gone ahead and created the templates, chosen some fabrics, and the two of them are in position. So then I thought, well, what are we going to do next? I've still got plenty of fabrics. I've got a few random pieces of crocheting here. And when I went to get the iPad to start filming, I saw this little guy, which is a little medallion from a crocheted doily sitting there on the shelf. So I thought, well, he's in. To make a stem, I just use a bit of the scrap of this doily that's sitting here as well, that I have left over from the leaves, and that's where I'm at. So I thought I would turn the camera on and I guess carry on my merry way with making some mushrooms. So I'm not sure if I'll add any more Sue Spargo inspired mushrooms in. I'm thinking I might just sort of freestyle a few and we'll see where we sort of end up. So what else could we use? This here keeps yelling out at me as if it could be a mushroom. I just don't know. What else have we got? They certainly feel like they could be additives to a mushroom. I've got a little bit of tracing paper here too, so that helps me to, I guess, get a bit of a shape that I can cut out. So I'm thinking I might put a really tall mushroom here, so just a bit of a toadstooly one. Don't want to make them too perfect. They sort of need to be a little bit on the wonky side, don't they? Having some tracing paper like this is a really good way of, I guess, testing a shape and position before you sort of commit to anything in particular. I like that. So need a stem. What can be used for a stem? Oh, maybe I'll use a bit of this gold frizz cap. And that might lead me to a stem. We'll just see how it rolls. So as I said, today is a new day. And this video is rolling along as I make this panel. There's going to be actually quite a lot of work in this piece. So I thought, oh, well, we'll get the mushrooms going. I guess the next stage will be the ground. But I think my logic tells me I need to get these guys into position. He's in the same fabric that I used on that Christmas decoration. So we need a stem to connect him. I do have my lace here. It's a bit of an unusual little patch of mushrooms happening here. Lacy ones and unusual looking little mushrooms, aren't they? But that's all right. That's what happens in the forest floor. Just trying to get my angles right. I sort of don't want them to look like they're coming from nowhere. I want them to feel like they've meant to be there. I'll just tuck him in behind there. Does it make sense? I don't think it does. Maybe I need a bigger mushroom head up there. Maybe I just do a similar size one. I don't know. Let's just play. Let's just get ourselves another wonky little mushroom. Love making mushrooms. I was really hoping the girls had this as a prompt because I felt like it could be a lot of fun. I like this chocolate fabric too, but maybe I need to do another one of those, but smaller. Just bear with me as I have a little look through the fabrics here. I'll use that one. Just wondering if that shortened and came down there into the foreground. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'll cut another one of those, but I might make him a little bit smaller. Now that they've come to the foreground, I'm thinking just a little guy. So he looks like he's shot off from that guy. Yeah, that's better. I like that. We'll overlap him a little bit so he's sort of shooting out. So we like him over there. And I'll look at the end of the day. they could go anywhere because it's going to be just a mishmash of mushrooms and forest floor ephemera. But we'll put him there for now. Who knows, when I sit down to stitch, that might change. We're still on the background, yes. Maybe we do another. Another stem. I do have another one of those there. Maybe that's the piece I need to bring. Might make more sense. Sort of getting into the nitty-gritties of composition here, which could be argued many ways. Let's just round that. Fudgy was asleep in his little hammock, and I was going to show you, but he's just hopped up and I can hear him having his afternoon tea. Yeah, I like that. We've got a little set of 3 happening there. I'll just jump up and grab another one of those. Or should I grab a different one? The question. Let me just grab one. Anyway, maybe we can fold it differently. Maybe we can put that up into there and make it more obvious. Yes, I like that. Sort of making it look bigger too. Then we'll do some decorative stitching up that stem and add some little bits and pieces. That's where all these little bits are going to come into play. These little crocheted elements. You know, just to add interest to the mushrooms. Okay, so far, so good. Now, where's my little templates? I feel like I could do something there, but not that shape. Maybe more of a cap. So it sort of is like a umbrella over a few of them. Is that the right size? Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, I don't mind that. So maybe we have an orange one, or stay within these softy, it's not even a word, soft tones. Are there green mushrooms out there? Don't know. No, Fudge said no. What about that fabric? It's a bit too blendy. Where's that dark? I don't mind him. He looks like a bit of a sinister mushroom. Meow meow. Let's just do a bit of a rough cut. Maybe we could show his underside. Yeah, I like him. Maybe you could have a yellow orange underside. There's a bit of scrap here. Just have a look at something like that on his underside. Yeah, see, I do like that. We just need to trim it so that the cap comes down. But are we committed to that? I think we are. So we should be able to just sneak a bit of this out. And I'm hoping we've got a bit of a bottom to him. There we go. Maybe we do that. Yeah, I like that shape. Okay. Now we need a stem. What are we going to use as a stem? We've used that. I sort of like the paler stems. would it be weird to do some lace? What about this elastic? Gee, this is a motley, no, I don't like that. A motley bunch of little mushrooms. Oh, here's some little morsels that were gifted to me. If I remember rightly, I hope I get this right. Vanessa. Yeah, like that. Got to have a little bit of lace in the mushroom patch. Whether I put something under it, possibly, to make it a little bit more solid. No, it's just, no, it's just not quite right. Nope, it's going back in the pile. I might just grab my neutrals, as in neutral fabrics, or even the Japanese fabrics. Any of those would be good. Do I use wool? No, let's just have a little look in here. Like a piece of this. Sort of feels like they're, hey Fudgy, they're part of the same place but different fabric. Maybe make it quite a thick base. Make it long. Can always cut it back. And then the plan is to stitch over them all with some decorative stitches like chain stitch and French knots and herringbone stitch or anything, just to give it another layer of detail. Probably won't do that in this video. I'll probably just sit down with needle and thread over the next few days and see what happens. As long as I got a bit of a Fudgy, stop it. Why are you so yappy? As long as I got something there as a bit of a base. I wonder if I could get a mushroom happening here. So I've got this little drapey edge. Let's just have a go. If it doesn't work, doesn't matter. So if we cut that in a bit of a shape, like so, let's trim that off a little bit, and then maybe we can put a crown on it. What colour do we use? This little guy's a lethal mushroom. Just looking through my fabrics. Maybe we make him quite dowdy, and then underneath has this green, this orange pop. I haven't used that. Nope. Do we try using another piece of crocheting? Would that be odd? Yeah, it would be. Well, what about that bit? No. Nope. We've used that. Sort of feel like my shape's not quite right. And then we need like a dome. Like that. So it's like a fringe that comes out from underneath it. Can you see my vision? Yeah, like that. Maybe a fraction bigger. And then we'll have it coming up here maybe. So what top would I put on it? I already used the pink. Maybe I do that colour. It's a bit dowdy, but maybe with some embroidery. Yeah, give it a chance. If I got some cream thread and embroidered, that would lift it. So we'll give it a go. So we've got a bit of a crown happening there for a little orange fluted little mushroom. And then we need a stem. And maybe, oh look at that in the center, maybe we could get a little guy coming up as well. Might be pushing my luck a bit. And we just need something for a stem. So what's in the neutral bucket of fabrics? Oh, a bit of rope. Oh, that's attached to the bag. I was pulling the rope. I can't be chopping that off. Bit of crocheting would work. And then bring that up to catch that little guy. Oh, I like that. This is very eclectic little mushrooms. Just twist it a bit so it gets a bit thin, but we know it's from the same plant, just a thinner version. The stem hasn't erupted properly. That's my story anyway, my mushroom story. And I'll just tuck that in when I stitch it so we get more of that skirt feel. I think that'll work. Okay, and I'll just narrow that up a little bit there. Join that. Yep. I think we've got some mushrooms, a very eclectic little bunch of mushrooms. I like how they're sort of heading up the hill. That is good, gives us plenty of space for something else. I had considered doing a sketch here. Have I got any calico? What if I was to stitch and sketch and I don't know. Just need like just a swatch of fabric there. I found a stamp too from the Delusions range of some mushrooms, but they're very cartoon-like, and I'm thinking of using them in the Sea Journal because I think they're going to be more like the set that's guiding my hose, because they're like that classic red mushroom with the white spots. So I'm thinking something like that. Where's my pen? And oh, I don't know. I sort of like it when you can see their underbelly. Exaggerated somewhat. Toadstools. Fudgy. What's the matter with the fudge? I can use the iron to, you know, get this feeling like it's more in proportion. But I think a quick sketch will get me started. So this would be just a stitched mushroom, maybe with some little knots on him. I don't know. Fudgy. His bowl might be empty. That's why we're getting this. We'll put a little lacy thing around the top because I like it when they have a little bit of character to them, like something's fudgy. How are we going to do that? Do we just end it there, put some lines in, and then iron that line out there, bring it down a little bit and put a little skirt thing on there. So this is the sketch out in nature. It's a funny looking thing, isn't it? I think once I get its shape right, maybe it needs to be a little bit taller. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I need another one. Just a little guy here. So it looks like he's got a mate. I don't know, I feel like that should have been more over here. Maybe that needs to be just smaller, like a little guy poking up. I don't know. That's all got out of control there, but that's okay. We've got the general concept of the piece. Now, maybe then stitching wise, if I bring in a stitched border around there, once I trim it, and across the top there, and then maybe I can do some form of stitch there. It'll give it a bit of a sketchbook sort of feel. And then there's always the opportunity to bring in, I feel like that's too big, that mushroom top. I think it might go more that way. Anyway, I could fiddle all day with it. I think I'm going to take that corner off. Yeah, that feels good. Feels like it's got a bit more movement and not just straight up in a blob. So that's going to go there, like that. Can I turn on my iron with little hassle? Yes, I can. Tidy it up, and then we know exactly what we're doing. As for the mossy floor, that is stage 3. Once we get all these guys stitched out, and I think I'll go hunting out some fabrics and beads and just, you know, bits and bobs. Yeah, I think we got something. There's something happening here. So the next thing would be to stitch it all down with just needle and thread, so everything's held and my pins are out of the way. Find an orange. Let's do that while we're at it. For that, where's all the orange bridesmaids? Of course there was some orange. Yep. The other colours I've already got should be pretty much okay. That there I'm thinking I'll just do in a black thread or a black pen, or yeah, that's better. Get rid of that. Get rid of that guy. So it's more of a pointy top. So this little baby guy is following the same line. That maybe should disappear in under the cap. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Just tidy that a little bit. Just the two of them. If it looks a bit odd, I could bring a little guy here as well from behind. Looks a bit wacky. Don't show his underside, just leave him as a little cap. He's peeking up around the back. All right, so that gives us our field note look. Maybe we've got room at the top here for some samples of colour. Could even bring that up. Samples of colour could go there. Could bring that across, like we could really, doesn't have to be centered. I do like that it's tucked in behind all of that, like it's popping out himself. So I'm bringing him down by the looks of it. Yeah, gonna pin that. I like it. Let's get this out of our way before we burn ourselves. Got a very tender blister on my hand, and now I'll have a burn on my elbow if I'm not careful. All right, I think we have a plan. Just got to check the perimeter that we're not falling off the page. Everything's in the crease. I like it. That's a good start. I like how I still kept all this up here for the forest. And then we just got this swish of mushrooms going across. So one page and then the other. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, guys, I'm going to toddle off. I'm not sure when you will see a video. I know Friday's got one. Just not sure if you'll see another one this week. Got a lot happening and lots of appointments and things like that. So I will see how I go, but at least I got this I can play with. The next video will be bringing in bits of the ground. And that'll depend on how moody and dark and mossy everything will get. It's quite light and poppy at the moment because of these stems. So I may not end up going as dark and moody as I thought. But anyway, we'll get to that. It's a good start. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you when I see you next. Bye. Hi, guys. Hello. I've had a few people request Fudgy in his hammock. So this is Fudgy's hammock. Hey, little boy, he's just hopped back up. So he gets the afternoon sun. So he's as warm as anything. He's got a few pot plants around him. Oh gosh, there goes Pepper and Bandit. You're going to hop down now. He's probably getting a little bit warm. So that's Fudgy's hammock. He walks along the bench and then he hops down into his Fudgy bed. That's his little bed underneath. He's got a little heated bed in there that keeps his old crickety bones nice and warm, and his dinner bowl is at my feet. Here he comes. There we go, Fudge. Down he goes. See, he's got it all worked out and onto a mat. Hey, Fudgy. Yeah. All right, guys, so there you go. You've had a quick look at Fudgy's hammock in the afternoon sun. See yous.